first grade. I've been wondering, what kind of things can you fill up? Let's think about it. You can fill up your cup with milk, you can fill up your car with gas, and you can fill up your stomach with food. Even your favorite ice cream. Think of a few other things that you could fill up. In our verse for this week, God is telling us that to fill ourselves, we need to fill ourselves with the right things. And that means the Holy Spirit. Before we talk about how to do that, I wonder, well, who is the Holy Spirit? The Holy Spirit is the one that Jesus promised to send us when he went up into the clouds. The Holy Spirit is also called the Comforter or the Helper. And the Holy Spirit is the one who comes to live inside your heart when you accept him into your life. He's always with you and he speaks to you. Is the Holy Spirit actually God? Yes, he is. So, how can you be filled with the Spirit? I wonder if you can turn to your buddy or your friend or your parent and say this question: how can you be filled with the Spirit? Hi, first grade. I've been wondering, what kind of things can you fill up? Let's think about it. You can fill up your cup with milk, you can fill up your car with gas, and you can fill up your stomach with food. Even your favorite ice cream. Think of a few other things that you could fill up. In our verse for this week, God is telling us that to fill ourselves, we need to fill ourselves with the right things. And that means the Holy Spirit. Before we talk about how to do that, I wonder, well, who is the Holy Spirit? The Holy Spirit is the one that Jesus promised to send us when he went up into the clouds. The Holy Spirit is also called the Comforter or the Helper. And the Holy Spirit is the one who comes to live inside your heart when you accept him into your life. He's always with you and he speaks to you. Is the Holy Spirit actually God? Yes, he is. So, how can you be filled with the Spirit? I wonder if you can turn to your buddy or your friend or your parent and say this question: how can you be filled with the Spirit? Let me show you this image of a tree. If God is like a tree, then we are like its branches. Take a look at the tree. What do you notice? That's right, you can see a branch snapping off. And if that branch snaps off, can it remain connected to the tree? Well, God calls this abiding. He says that if you are not abiding in me, then you cannot bear fruit. That branch can no longer bear fruit because it's broken off from the tree. So in order to bear fruit in Jesus, we need to make sure that we're connected to him. So the Bible verse says this: abide in me and I will abide in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit by itself, neither can you unless it abides in the vine. Okay, we're going to be reading a really fun story called Koala Lou. And a koala is a type of creature from Australia. So this is a book from Australia. So it has lots of creatures from Australia. But this is a book mostly about love, the first fruit of the Holy Spirit. It's a fruit that is gifted to you from Jesus. So, as you read through the story today, I want you to be thinking to yourself, hey, how does this short story show an example of love, and in what ways?
Koala Lou by Mem Fox.
There was once a baby koala so soft and round that all who saw her loved her. Her name was Koala Lou.
The emu loved her, the platypus loved her, and even tough little koala Claus next door loved her. But it was her mother who loved her most of all. 100 times a day she would laugh and shake her head and say, "Koala Lou, I do love you." Whenever she stretched in the early morning sun, or climbed a gum tree, or bravely went down the path all by herself, her mother would smile and say, "Koala Lou, I do love you." The years passed and other koalas were born, brothers and sisters for Kuala-Lu. Soon her mother was so busy she didn't have time to tell Kuala-Lu that she loved her. Although, of course she did. Every night as she curled up under the stars, Kuala-Lu thought about the times when her mother had looked at her and said, "Kuala-Lu, I do love you," and she longed for her to say it again. One night Kuala-Lu had a splendid idea. Preparations had begun for the Bush Olympics. She would enter the Olympics. She would compete in the gum tree climbing event, and she would win. And her mother would fling her arms around her neck and say again, "Kuala-Lu, I do love you." Kuala-Lu began her training right away. She jogged and puffed and lifted weights and panted. She hung from a branch with one claw at a time till she ached. She did push-ups till her stomach hurt, and last of all, she climbed the tallest tree she could find, over and over and over again. Sometimes her mother would watch her and ask, "How you going, Blossom?" "Fine, just fine," Kuala-Lu would reply. At last the day of the Bush Olympics arrived. Koala Claus had also entered the gum tree climbing event, and everyone knew how fast she was. But Kuala-Lu wasn't scared. She saw her mother in the crowd and imagined her saying again, "Kuala-Lu, I do love you," her heart filled with hope. It was Koala Claus who went first. Her climb was a record-breaking 22 meters in 70 seconds flat. The spectators whistled and cheered and wildly waved their party hats. "Can I do better than that?" wondered Kuala-Lu. "I must." As she stepped towards the tree, a hush fell over the crowd. "On your mark," said the kookaburra. "Get set, go!" Kuala-Lu leapt onto the tree. Up and up and up she climbed, higher and higher and higher, faster and faster and faster until there she was, right at the very top. The spectators roared and clapped and stamped their feet. But she wasn't fast enough. In spite of all her training and all her hoping, it was Koala Claus who won the gum tree climbing. Kuala-Lu came second. Kuala-Lu went off and hid. She heard the shouts of the Bush Olympics and cried her heart out. When the first stars of evening appeared in the sky, her mother was waiting for her. Before she could say a word, her mother had flung her arms around her neck and said, "Kuala-Lu, I do love you. I always have and I always will." And she hugged her for a very long time.
So what did you notice in the story today about love? Was the mama ever giving up on her little girl? No. She showed that she loved her even when she wasn't saying it. Does God ever give up on us? No. Even more so than parents, God never ever gives up on us. And that's such a wonderful thing to know that's true about His love. Now, He can give us that kind of love through His Holy Spirit, and that's the kind of fruit that He's talking about. So today, I've got a song that we're going to sing through this whole series. So that goes like this: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Tune in tomorrow and we're going to be talking about peace, and we're going to be talking about how God gives His Holy Spirit to us as a gift.